Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I fill in my eyebrows. My eyebrow routine is extremely simple and kind of foolproof, so I hope this helps out some of you. Naturally, my eyebrows are very dark and very thick on their own, so I don't need a ton of brow powder to fill them in. I just like to use it to define them more and make them look more put together. I do wax my eyebrows and pluck them, but for the most part I just like to let them do their own thing, and I don't mess with the natural shape or anything like that. I just think it's a lot less hassle to leave them alone and let them do their own thing than it is to mess with them and just completely change the shape of your eyebrows. I prefer to fill my eyebrows in with a powder. I don't like using pencils. I can never get them to look right. So this is the powder that I use. It's by Lancome and it's called Couture. These three darker shadows are actually by MAC, and what I did was just took out the Lancome shadows and then put the MAC shadow in its place. I'm sorry, I don't remember which shadow it was. I think it was Espresso. I could be wrong, but just choose a shadow that's close to your hair color and then you'll be fine. I use a small angled brush. This one's from e.l.f. I think the smaller the brush, the more control you have over filling in your brows. I used to use a bigger angled brush and it worked well, but I definitely prefer the smaller brush. You get more control, you can, really define things, and I just think that the smaller brush works better for definition and everything like that. And you can also your eyebrows are really angled. It's easier to, keep the lines straight and really define the outer and front part of your brows. I use this little spoolie. It came with like a sample mascara or something. All I do is just wash it over and over again. It is like the best spoolie ever, so I don't ever want to lose this thing. And it's really great for removing excess brow powder. If I've, over-defined them and they look too cartoony, then I use this. I use this for brushing out my brows, and also if I put a little bit too much excess clear mascara on them after I've set them, then I use this to take off the excess. I definitely think that a spoolie will really help you out, so I think that you should get a spoolie. You guys can also wash off your mascara wands and use those as a spoolie if you find one that you really like. Anything that has bristles would be like L'Oreal Voluminous, Maybelline Lash Stiletto. Anything that has those bristles is going to make a good spoolie. And for setting my brows, I use a clear mascara. This one's by Maybelline. It's just the clear Great Lash one. These work really well. The only thing is that the more you use them, the brow powder from your brows, or if you choose to use a pencil or whatever, it does start to stain and discolor the clear mascara. So after a few months, they start looking really gross. But I just recently got a new one the other day, and I figured that while I have a clean one that looks good, I should do the brow tutorial just so that it looks a little bit nicer on camera instead of pulling out a brown, dirty looking clear mascara. It's not dirty, it's just, the brow powder in it. So it's not a big deal, but just for the sake of this video, I figured I should use a clean, brand new one. Okay, so sorry if you can hear cars, the traffic. I'm filming with my window open because this is the best lighting. But, okay, so this is the filled in eyebrow, this is the unfilled in eyebrow. You can tell my eyebrows are just really dark. What I like to do is just define the angles of my eyebrows and make them a little bit darker. Everybody always tells me that I don't need to fill in my eyebrows, but I just think that it looks more put together, and I really like the way it looks when my eyebrows are stronger. So what I do is just take this darker color on the angle brush and I just define the lower part of the back of my eyebrow. So I just go lightly underneath just to make this part stronger. And then I do the back part. And then I will lightly do the top. And I'm not using a ton of pressure. I'm using a pretty light hand while I do this. And then, once I get to the front, I start using the lighter color by Lancome called Couture. And all I do is just lightly define under the front of my brow, and then lightly define the top. And then hold the brush at this angle and just lightly fill in the front. Then I use the little spoolie and I just brush through, take off any excess powder if there was a little bit too much or anything. So just go through. And then I go in and set them with the Maybelline Great Lash. And with this bottle, you actually get a lot of product on the actual brush. So what I do is scrape the sides of the brush to take off all of the excess. Just kind of roll it around the top, and then you won't have so much gel that your eyebrow has goop all over it. And I just brush them upward slightly and get them wherever I want. And so yeah, that's it. That's how I fill in my eyebrows. Thank you so much for watching, guys.